I'm playing Naval Action again. It's a pretty quiet night here on the server. I don't know that there are many people around to try and hunt this bit of trade mission I'm doing. Don't know that there are many other people to go and join with hunting AIs or other actual human players. Opening a bottle of Guinness here as quietly as I can. Cheers. Yeah. I'm also watching the results come in from the Ontario provincial election, and seeing Doug Ford win the premiership is disheartening. I can dream of an NDP government, I guess, can't I? Yeah, just coming in on my Indefatigable, which is a very nice little fifth rate here. It's actually the biggest fifth rate. I've used it a few times. I realized I didn't introduce the ship I was captaining on the last stream. That's a Bellona. It's one of the third rates, and it is very nice. You're a ship of the line properly if you're first, second, or third rate. So this Wall of Warship is not a ship of the line. It's really a heavy frigate. But yeah, I'm just taking this in and keeping an eye out for Prussians or similar who would attack on this route. I've got a couple ships in fleet with me, so this is actually one of three. And so if we get dragged into a battle, you'll see that there are two other ships captained by AIs who crop up. Over here, this British Belpool, for example, has two other ships in its fleet. You can see it says so up there. I'm going to let them go. I'm on a peaceful trading mission. They're an AI. They won't attack me. Which is why I'm really just keeping an eye out for other humans. AI. But yeah, this time of day, the server population is real low. Nope, that is a British enemy, which means I actually need to worry a little bit. Dun dun dun. This is where it gets tense. I think they're just the one. Don't hunt me. Don't hunt me. Yeah, and a Belpool against... Oh, is that a Belpool? It looks like it might be. I don't know my ships by sight well enough. But yeah, they let me pass. It's all okay. But yeah, that doesn't look like it's better than a fifth rate, so they would probably not want to attack my Indefatigable here, especially given that it'll say that I have a fleet with me. There's some nation chat, but I'm not particularly interested in what's going on there. I've got to sail into the wind a little bit to come into port, which is okay now that the enemy player has gone far away. Uh-oh. Who's this? Ah, fellow pirate. We should be okay. Looks like there are a couple people watching. Hi. Say hi in the chat if you want to. I'll answer any, I don't know, questions if you have. I've been doing a little reading. I've got the sea chart, so that's fresh in my mind. And the other bit of reading here is Ships, Seafaring, and Society. So that's where my head's at, unsurprisingly. Oh, this is a new starting off pirate. Oh no, Marauder. Never mind. Relatively starting off. You see, waves is a pun because we're on the ocean. Very clever. Oh yeah. Close chat. Feel awkward, you know, having my conversations with other people be rendered public through a stream. And we're coming into Mortimer Town. This doesn't sail super well upwind, but it sails well enough, and we're not going too far upwind. Alright. Swing this around, try to avoid the shallows. Keep an eye out for any last-minute attempts at pirating the pirates. I mean, ultimately this is what you have to expect as a pirate, right? You're hostis humani generis, or whatever the phrase is. Enemies of all civilized people. Alright. It said redeemables up there briefly, and I was excited, but I think that was an illusion. Let's take some trade goods, drop them off here. Let's gut some fish. See, fish and salt, you can sell them, but really you can turn them into provisions, which are useful for crafting ships. So it's always useful to just keep your sailors fishing a little bit as you go out along the ocean, and to turn that into things that you can then use to make food supplies, which you can then use to make provisions. So over here in crafting, consumables, food supplies, I've got enough fish, meat, and salt to make a batch of this. I can then go to provisions, and if I had some barrels, I could put those food supplies in barrels, make provisions. You never actually go through them as you sail, you just need to have them, which, fine for a game. I've got a pretty nice Prince de Neufchâtel here that I made for a friend, waiting for him to sign on, give it to him. I think I'm gonna head back up to Pittstown and hunt some AIs there. Seems like a reasonable choice. In the meantime, I can talk very briefly about how navigation works on the open world. So I hit M, bring up the map. One of the things I love in this game is that navigation is pretty much like it was, except you don't drift, so that makes it easier. So you plop down a protractor where you are, you draw a line to where you want to be, and you figure out the heading you have to be on. Then in the main world it'll show that with a little red mark there. So I had pretty good wind coming down here, and I'll have good wind coming back. Should be nice. One moment while I answer a quick PM question there. And yeah, that red mark, set your course there. I had to get out of the harbor a little bit to avoid some shallows. And not quite where I want to be. That'll be good enough. And then you just sail till you see a landmark. You know? It's kinda Dead Reckoning-ish. Now, if you were actually sailing, the wind and currents would add a little drift in, so instead of just getting forward motion because of your sails and your keel, I would also be going a little bit to starboard here because the wind is from port, well, port and aft. So that would actually cause me to drift a little bit to starboard, especially over the course of a long journey. This game doesn't have that level of detail, which I'm okay with. Looks like the nation chat is trying to coordinate some hunting, but as I'm mostly on a merchant journey. I'll leave it for now until I get up to Pitt. Curious where they are, though. Yeah. Looks like I don't have enough conversation history to even know, so I'll ignore it for now. Let's see. Don't know that there's much I can do here, but I will talk a little bit about what I've got in the fleet here. So if I go to Manage Crew, you'll see I've got my Indefatigable, I've got an Indiaman, and a Trader's Brig. These are both merchant ships, so I'm crewing them with less than full crews, because if I get into combat, they're mostly going to run away. The Indiaman is armed, the Trader's Brig isn't even armed. I just want them to carry as much precious trade cargo as I can. I'm gradually bringing that to Mortimer Town, where I will sell it in a huge lump sum and crash the market, because that's what you do. Hopefully I should about triple my money. I dropped about $1 million on trade goods, and I should be able to get about $2.8 million out of it, which is miraculous. You know, the amount of risk that you carry in this game compared to real sailing, compared to real Age of Sail trading, is delightfully low. So as you're sailing, you can spot landmarks like that island over there, looking at it through the spyglass. Then you can go to the map and say, oh, it's probably that little unnamed island. Get a sense of how far you've come. The wind is circling around abaft, so I'm going to be running with the wind, which is not quite as fast as having it slightly off to one side or the other, but it's still better than going into it. Ooh, there's a combat marker. See, there's always stuff going on, even if you're going a little bit, you know, just sort of low-key, quietly around. I don't feel super confident joining that combat, even though the pirates outclass France. Oh, it's closed anyway. Never mind. I won't join it. I would have to send 2 of my ships, the Indiaman and the Trader's Brig, running away right away, which, who wants to risk losing them? So, yeah, it's a closed battle. I'm not sure what makes it open or closed. I think that if you're doing an AI hunting mission, it's closed, but I don't think I could even see it then. So, I'm not sure. And now you can vaguely make out the shapes of Salina Point up there, and the mist on the horizon. I call it Salina, but I don't know. There's a Salina out this way. Well, not quite out this way. The next state over. So that's the pronunciation I use. But one of the things I love about this map is just how many ports there are, and how many you know are being like horribly mispronounced. Like, you know, I'm sure that the Great British in control of Manzanilla are calling it something like Manzanilla. I don't know. But yeah, there are plenty of places, and some of them are more historical than current. So, what do we have? We have Pensacola in an older Spanish spelling, for example. We have lots of changes to Bahamas as sea levels rise. Right, I don't want to miss my turn, because you see, I plotted a course not directly to Pittstown, because I would run into islands, so I plotted it to this passage here. So I'm going to get there, and then adjust my course and go through. This is a pretty straightforward, direct route. But I do want to go to the far side of that island, so I'll adjust my course a little bit. answering a few more questions, making a few more comments. So that Salina Point is, as you can see if I zoom in, a Prussian port, flying the Prussian flag there, barely visible in the darkness. It's open to all, though, marked with a little plus on the map. But the pirates and the Prussians have some bad blood, so pirates are mostly avoiding it. Oh, some rain's starting. You can see it hitting the glass. And it makes it real hard to see if someone's hunting me. But it's so quiet, and I would be hard for them to see, so I feel okay. I feel pretty safe. The gentle sound of the rain and the waves is very nice, too. I like the environmental features of a game like this. Alright. Skirting around the shallows, setting course pretty much straight for Pittstown, and someone, they're an AI. Total of 4 ships. I don't think I can take them. Belpool and an Indefatigable are pretty equally matched. Let me rephrase that. The Indefatigable is way better than the Belpool, and I can consistently beat them. But with 3 consorts, a medium and 2 small, it would be a lot harder. I can beat them as AIs. Who knows about human captains, but this is an AI, so. A good human captain will lure you into mistakes, which is part of the fun of the whole thing. You know, trying to evaluate how the other captain will act, and then trying to pull them out into a bad situation. Or trying to tell whether they're trying to pull you out, you know. It's kind of a classic of books of this sort of genre. Like, I got stuck on a sandbar. But yeah, like, you know, Aubrey Maturin books or whatever, you're definitely spending a certain amount of time evaluating the other captain. Maybe even knowing them from peaceful time at shore. Hunt says, hardcore navaling, softcore actioning. Yeah, entirely right. I'm going to be... I'm going to be getting to a port, changing out my ships a bit, hunting some AIs. There'll be some broadsides. We're just... Oh, haunts. I see. Thank you. We're just low-key right now. I'm guessing haunts is Matt. But yeah, Pittstown is in sight. I've got a bunch of good ships there, and once I get into them, I'll be able to actually do some actioning, not just navaling. Naval gazing, right? That's what this is. It'd be fascinating to be able to get up on that shore and, you know, wander around it. And I run aground again. I'm used to taking this route with slightly shallower draft vessels, so I don't know all the shallows for something as deep draft as this. Or something as deep draft as my Bologna once I get into that, because Ship of the Line has a real deep draft. Alright, almost there. With a good wind, making probably 25 knots despite what the indicator says when it occasionally bursts up to 40 for no reason. You know, measuring speed in this period is a very approximate thing. I suspect Hans is also going to criticize me for not drinking scotch tonight, but what can you do? I've had enough of that lately. Ooh, an Essex and a medium. I kind of want to hunt those. It'd be more. Not just in one ship, though. Not just in one ship. If they're still out there when I get into pits and change my ships around, we'll see. Yes, it's beer. It's a Guinness. Sometimes one needs to change things up. More shallows. This is the worst. I am the worst captain. I would have sunk this ship 3 times over by now. If only, shallows actually damaged your hull instead of just stopping you for, no further penalty. Alright. Entering port. Let's see. Equipment. Gonna convert the fish. Got some more trade goods to bring down. I've got a couple of sealed bottles, and those will reveal to me the locations of shipwrecks, which are full of goodies. So I'll probably do that off stream just to be secretive about it. I've gotten 2 shipwrecks so far, and they've given me a pile of copper and Wakata saltpeter, both of which are real useful for crafting things. Copper plating makes you go fast. Wakata saltpeter makes you shoot harder. Very good stuff. Let's go to fleet. Move my merchant ships back to the docks. The UI here is a little janky, a little slow. Hans is telling me to slosh down my beer. I will have none of that. That's a terrible idea. I reject it wholeheartedly. Let's get a resume. Let's see about crew management. That doesn't give me much. 60 free crew. Oh, I clicked the wrong button. Let's go back to the Indefatigable. If I just, if I add the snow, it would be half crewed. No one wants that. I'll take 2 out. Let's hunt. See if that fleet's still there. Hans asks why I'm not Dutch. I very much wanted to play the Dutch, but I think that the location where the pirates start was a better, more compelling start location. So that's why I did that. Oh, there we go. That's my prey, right there. You gotta make money, you can't just, they're off the horizon. Let's see if I can catch up to them. Well, I'm gonna get some piracy going if I can hunt down this British pair of ships, right? But, any pirate worth their salt would also be engaged in some merchant activity. Ooh, that one might be easier. No, that's 4 ships, and I don't like 4 on 2. Not unless I'm in my ship of the line. Hans asks if you can steal money from others. Yes. Mostly you steal goods, not money. So you engage them in battle, you board them or sink them, you take the goods from their hold before they fully sink, and then you sell that. Oh yes, merchant activity in quotes. That's what pirates do, yeah. Ugh, this is terrible weather, terrible weather. Hard to see. It was good for my trading run because it provided some cover, but makes it real hard to scan the horizon. For that, is that it? That's it. I spotted you. It looks like you're actually coming towards me. No, you're going away. It's alright. I'll be as quick as I can. How am I navigating right now? Completely by sight. 100% by sight. If I went to the map and tried to plot something, it would be no use because I'm trying to hunt a ship somewhere around here between Pitts and Deadman's. So I'm just trying to keep it in sight, see its sails on the horizon, click it to make it a little bit easier with the big thing around it. Because I'm in the Bahamas, it's pretty safe. Like, I know this area well. I know that I can pretty much point in a direction that's not northeast, and I will end up hitting a shore. So worst case, if I get totally lost, I can just, approximately head one direction. But yeah, I mean, when you're out at sea, like, it is risky. But there's Pittstown. I'm still in sight of it, so they're just coming straight at me, though. This is gonna be great. And while a human player would recognize that I am trying to get into a good position to attack them, the AI never quite seems to. So I'm going to get close. And then hit attack. There's a countdown timer. And I should be just about upwind of them when the timer runs out. And that'll determine where we actually start the battle. Alright, so they have an Essex and a Surprise. I have an Indefatigable and a Renommee. This should be... can another player run from the attack bubble before timer runs out to escape? Yes, absolutely they can. I have outrun a bunch of Swedes hunting me in my unarmed merchant ship once upon a time. It's kind of exciting. Let's get some chain shot loading. And of the two, I think the Essex is a little bit higher battle rating than the Surprise. Mary Hoburg is in the Essex, so I will try to focus on that and let my Renommee work on the Surprise. Except that my Renommee has latched on. Wait. Oh, it's latched onto the Surprise. Oh. I see. I see. Mason is the primary captain. Let's turn into the wind a bit. Let's cut our staysails, because I need to load. I'm going to fire some chain shot. I'm going to wreck their sails as best I can, and then fire a real shot. Alright. They're starting to speed up. Let's see if I can get... Alright, now I'm going to load ball. That did some decent damage to their sails. And I'm going to try and turn just as tightly as I can. Did I just absorb a broadside with impunity? Yeah. In the upper left, you can see my ship's health. It's got armor on the port starboard, fore and aft, and structure down the middle. I basically pretty heavily outclassed the Essex that I was facing there, so I wasn't too worried about taking a broadside on the chin, as it were. I get to damage their sails a bit. Maybe, if I time this right, I'll get to do a bit of a stern raking. Could have been better. Did some damage. Not enough. Now I want to turn on the inside here and use my other full broadside on this one. Oh, come on. I'm hitting them at an angle, which is less than ideal, but at least, you know, at least I got a pretty good broadside in. And I started a fire on them. Even better. There we go. A few more shots for my stern chasers. Can you order a board? Yes, boarding actions are a little Rochambeau-like game. I'm not super good at them, and I'm not super interested in them, so I tend to focus on broadsides. I should practice them more. I might try one out under the circumstances, just to sort of show it off. My rudder's a little damaged. That's unfortunate. But yeah, you can control your sails separately, which helps with... Oh no, healing over. Too much wind. Make it go away. And that broadside hit okay, but not great. They kind of turned at the right moment. Further questions. Can one specialize in boarding over cannon fighting? Yes, absolutely. There are upgrades for your ship that you can slot on, and there are ship knowledges. You track XP with individual ships. So I've got 3 out of 5 possible knowledge slots unlocked on the Indefatigable here. And as you unlock knowledges and as you discover new knowledges available to you, let's see if this broadside hits. Yeah, a few of them. Wasn't great though. Anyway, as you discover new knowledges and as you unlock more slots in a ship, you can then equip or swap out easily. They're knowledges, right? They're easy come, easy go. So you can change the knowledges you have on it. Some of those knowledges include things that improve your ability in boarding actions. So I just fired one of my decks at that distantly, and now I'm going to fire the second deck that I have available and get a pretty good 10 out of 13 balls in. Lovely. I should repair my rudder. Fire! One shot. Yay, that was underwhelming. So yeah, there are knowledges that'll improve your ability with various of the parts of the Rochambeau of a boarding action. From, like, you know, better morale to, like, you know, better if you use axes or like muskets or grenades, right? Like, whatever. This is a pretty good broadside. That wore them down okay. Let me just see how my AI is doing. Ew, it's losing a good bit of health there. I don't want it engaged with the surprise. Can I tell it to target something else? Can I tell it, like, to destroy that? Yes, I can. Nice. Alright. The sound's being a little bit weird today. Why do I dislike boarding actions? I don't feel like I've figured out any, like, engaging strategy for it. So, like, with this, I can focus on my sailing pretty well, and I can, you know, choose what kind of shot to fire when. Like, I'm firing some chain shot there. In boarding actions, you've got 6 actions, more or less, and as far as I can tell, a combination of bracing and firing your deck cannons gets you most of the way there. It doesn't have a complexity that I see. So, it might have complexity, I just don't know it yet, you know? And as I say, I'm not very good at it, so these are probably interrelated. Let's try and get our gun decks lower. That was not great. A bunch of those went through their sails, which is the opposite of what you want. The other thing about boarding actions is, in order to engage in them, you do have to start with a little bit of cannon stuff, because you need to, like, damage their sails enough to slow them down, and then you need to, like, damage their armor and fire some grape shot to kill some of their men before you start boarding. So I kind of feel as long as I'm doing that, I'm okay with just, you know, doing the cannon thing the whole way round. Let's fire a ranging shot. And then another nice broadside. That did okay. 19 hull damage, or hull hits. I'm going to try and cut them off. What did you call this? Viking slosh? Just watched a Swedish movie the other day about Arn Magnusson, the Knight Templar, who was kind of one of the founding figures of Sweden. Some kind of black brew. Yes. Then, fire my bow chasers. Try and wreck some sail. They're giving me the weather gauge. That's nice of them. No idea quite what's happening here. There's a little bit too much smoke to see, but I damaged their rudder. Got a little bit of a stern rake in. That should be okay. Alright, let's actually repair. I'm going to send a few men to that, take men off of sailing. One of the things about the Indefatigable is you don't actually have enough crew to do all of the things that need doing. So, you should manage reload crews and repair crews and sailing crews a little bit more closely than I'm doing. I'm just playing kind of fast and loose with it. Oof, my renommee is taking a beating. I'm going to run some interference for it. And kind of ignoring that surprise, Mary Hoburg. I'm going to try to get Jonathan Mason. Alright. I told all of my men to stop managing the sails, and so, no surprise, they're not managing the sails, which made it hard to get out of a turn because I had my sails in a position that changed wind pressure and had me turning. So now I am back that way. When you fire chain shot, it's really good to fire it stem to stern or similar, because then it'll go through one set of sails and then through the next set of sails. But with my bow chasers, I take what chances I have. They're turning. Let's try and hit them near the water line if we can, to cause some good leaks. Damage their rudder again. That's okay. As you move around, you'll see in the upper right that the ship that it's describing changes to the one that I'm sort of focused on. So I can look at my friendly AI ship and see how it's doing. Or I can go over to this one and see how it's doing. And it's just out of range of my stern chasers. Let's start the turn. So yeah, tight turn is achieved through managing wind pressure. I'm not turning as tightly as I can, I'm just kind of banging my sails around to approximately the right position. But because I'm also managing my own attention here, that's kind of what I have to do. Alright, that surprise is not having a great day. Meanwhile, that's the Essex. I really, really want you to destroy the Surprise. And I will deal with the Essex. That's what we have to do. While my gun crews reload about as fast as they can. My Renome takes more damage than I would like it to take. Oh, that did little. Now let's bring ourselves around. My stern chasers are both knocked out. That's what you take. That's what you get for getting repeatedly shot in the stern. So you can manage which broadsides your crews are focusing on. So I've told them to stop reloading this side, or even crewing them right now, because oh, I'm like into the wind. What did I get myself into? Hope it's good broadside at least. 16? Yeah, I'm okay with that. Send the men flying over to the other side. Now, for a demonstration of how to get out of irons. I am cutting my staysails. I am getting my sails into the wind as much as I can to push me backwards. And I'm giving helm in the reverse direction of what I want. Then to stop that, I'm setting my sails back to a forward direction, putting my staysails back up, and making the helm neutral again. And while we're here, let's try and just fuck up their sails a little bit more. Is this fight getting competitive? I feel pretty confident. They've both taken like appreciable structural damage. We have 2, but I'm not too concerned about it. I'm going to be able to get a nice broadside in on this as it comes by. Start that broadside, and then swing over here and start this broadside. I'm pretty okay at estimating range just on the first try with the Indefatigable. I'm pretty accustomed to it. Yeah, okay. Mary Hoberg in the Surprise, I think, has enough damage to not really have a chance. I'm going to try and tack, crossing the wind. I might not have enough speed to do it, so I might get caught in irons again. But mostly I want to keep Mason in the Essex distracted. Excuse me. Euphrazio Garland, my AI captain there, has pretty much a lot of structure and armor. I feel okay about that. Let's just get a few shots off. Most of that missed. That's too bad. So your staysails are the sails on the stays that go between the masts there, right? And they can provide a lot of forward power if you let them. If I keep my sails in just the right configuration, I should be able to turn somewhat quickly and wreck their sails a bit more and get a little bit of stern rake with this full broadside in. Maybe I don't want a stern rake though. Maybe I just want regular old broadside. That felt pretty okay. Coming around. Fraser Garland has it handled, I think, so I'm gonna try to come around and bring this other broadside. Ooh, my rudder and my pump are damaged. Ouch. Because good big guns take like a minute to reload, you actually have to give some pretty... I outpaced them. Half that landed in front of them. Like I was saying, you have to give some pretty conscious thought to, like, when you fire your broadsides, because you're going to have to wait a bit before you can fire them again. So in that case, I actually fired it a little bit too early and optimistically. It might be getting competitive. I'm about as damaged as the Essex is at this point. Well, so much for that, so much for us. They're bringing around a broadside. And I'm going to try and get to be at an angle to deflect more of it. If they hit you not so square on, more of it will bounce off. Ugh, not being great at actually timing my broadsides. Oh, Euphrasia Garland. Oh, but you've got Hoberg dead to rights. Alright, now that I am facing to Lee, I'm going to adjust my yards around the other way. And I'm just a little bit further away from them than I want to be, so I'm going to try and angle in, close the distance, and let Garland do what Garland's going to do. But now I'm going to tell Garland to retreat, because I don't want to lose that renommee. Wouldn't be disastrous, but it wouldn't be fun. Alright, need to up my range a little bit. And I'm making some leaks on them. Just the way we like it. About 2 leaks. Could be better. I'm going to take folks off of sailing again. I'm going to put some folks on ship repairs. And I'm going to stop them from reloading that broadside or manning those guns so that I have enough people to do gunnery and repairs. As you can see, the Surprise is sunk. And I think I'm going to have this sorted. But it is just a little worrisome. Up just a little higher. That's some hull hits. You can see in the top, very top bar towards the right, when I fire, it'll indicate if I have damaged modules or hull or caused leaks or otherwise I'm actually hitting them. Their sails are damaged, so I'm going to cut my sails to try and keep pace with them better. I'm angling away just a little bit. It can be hard to see that. Even hard to see it through a spyglass, but I want to kind of keep parallel. Hit my rudder again. Those shots are falling just a little bit short, so I'm going to raise my firing angle. On historical ships, you could angle them up and down pretty easily, but angling them side to side was a lot harder than this, right? Here I just move to the side, and then fire zone follows. On historical ships, there would be, in this period, a crew of about 10 men dedicated just to adjusting the angle of the guns. Come on. Alright, that caused a little hull damage. Sails, crew. Alright. They're trying to swing around. I'm gonna up my sails a bit. Yeah, this is taking it out of me. Not quite what I expected. And the weather clears. Good, my Renome has escaped. Now, one advantage of boarding that you might be interested in, Haunts, is that if you board a ship, you don't have to worry about it sinking and thus, you know, losing the goods on it. So like that wreck back there, I'm not going to be able to get to before it's too sunk to get the goods off of. If it's an AI ship, I don't think you can actually capture it, but if you are fighting humans, I think, I'm pretty sure that you can. That was a waste. I'm pretty sure you can capture and take human ships. Gonna need both broadsides soon. So they're coming around to the other side. 16 seconds left to repair my rudder. Passing to the other side of the wind. And, well, I'm misusing that phrase, but it'll do. Let's go to battle sails. Let them catch up a bit. So there are a bunch of presets for sort of how much sail you have out. Battle sails is the second lowest. It's mostly just your topsails. And that's some good structural damage. Let's take the men off of that. Let's put a little bit more sail up. They're at 76% sails. I think we'll be okay. Trying to reload the guns as fast as I can, because I want to destroy their structure. Not a full broadside, but one set of guns. And I took out one of their cannons and have all but destroyed all of their side armor. There we go. Now to try and make this turn. Nope, nope, nope. That would bring their fresh broadside around to my unfresh broadside. So I'm bouncing most of that at an angle. And in repairing my ship, they also repaired my stern chasers for just a little bit of extra oomph. Let's actually make some sail. Sometimes less sail is nice because then you get to like have less heel and your guns fire straighter and you get, you know, to sort of come up alongside them and fire your guns just in the timing you want, cadence you want. But ultimately, it's really good to keep moving fast because it's hard to regain speed. And if you need to do something like attack across the wind, like I'm trying to do right now, then it's better to do that with momentum. But I am wasting most of a broadside is what I'm doing. It's okay. I'll be across the wind. And I'll get them with my fresh broadside. Let's bring our bow chasers to bear. Did a little sail damage. That's nice. Come on. Those stern chasers, just getting off those extra 2 hits is always helpful. Oh, right. This is tense for me. And we're bringing around the other broadside, and can we bring it to bear? They're getting some more good hits in on us, but they have no armor left. We at least have a little. They have the weather gauge. They're upwind of us, that is, which means that they're not exposing their hull below the waterline, and they also have an advantageous heel that keeps their guns sort of pointing towards where they want them to be. But won't be enough to save them. Gonna try and move faster and do what I can. Should be reloading the other broadside. But I'm going to face them with this one once more. Even though that's going to put me almost in irons. 10 seconds left on ship repair. There's a long cooldown on repairs, so do them carefully, do them cautiously. It's so easy to give conflicting orders to your sailors in this game. So I just, told them to turn one way and then immediately changed my mind and tried something else. Most of that broadside missed. Alright, let's get some more repair going. Can stop sailing. We've got so little structure. This is actually scary. And I've got a fire on board now. Oh my God. All right, that's them sunk. I am too damaged to even try. No. Always worth trying. Can take everyone off of gunnery. Oh, I have no ship repairs. They're upwind. I'm taking on water. All right, not gonna loot the ships. Yeah, tried to repair the ship, but I guess I was out of repairs, which is not a fun way to be. But I got 136,000 gold and a lot of XP and a lot of combat marks out of that. So let's make our way back to safety in Pittstown. Yep, out of hull repairs. Alright. What are the pirates saying? St. Nicholas. That's where to get the ships. Yeah, they keep advertising that. St. Nicholas, down here, northern Haiti, Hispaniola. Just taken by the pirates recently. I need to check it out. I haven't been down that way. But I hear it's a good port. Well, that battle got me some XP. And it definitely gave myself some actual practice. I still have to do the final exam, which is a 2-on-1. Everyone in Cerberus, no mods, no knowledges, nothing. So I'm working on it. I'm not very good at dealing without being outnumbered. That is to say, I'm not twice as good as the AI yet. But I'm working on it. Yeah, we're pretty heavily damaged. Luckily in the open world that doesn't slow you down. So, just make sure that no one's out looking for wounded pirates. Then I can get into port and repair. And I think once I am in there, I will leave it for the night. This has just been a quiet evening of low-key trading and naval action. Almost there. So I made, like, rounding up 140,000 gold just from that fight. Let's see what the repairs cost me, because there's a good chance that I will have lost a significant chunk of change there. Ship repairs. 5,000 plus hiring crew. 4,000. Alright. Still coming out pretty well in the black. What? Okay, fine. Be buggy. 2,500. Alright, alright. There we go. Oh, what? What's it doing? Huh, okay. Anyway, and with that, I will bid you good night. Thanks.